Evening, everyone. How y'all doing? Hey, let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat or not. Oh, nice, nice, nice. If y'all have any questions, let me know. I don't have a ton else. Don't have a ton planned for tonight. Or I don't even know who has power and who doesn't. Put out a YouTube video earlier today recapping Friday through the context of our intraday volume analysis. Looking at kind of swing trading, what we look for on that time frame as well. So yeah, it's kind of what I got for y'all right now. A little bit of gap down, getting bought back up right now, around 6,900, not crazy. All right, what did I do there? Oops. Go to SPX, look at that one. Looking at Bitcoin. Making lower highs, lower lows there. Howdy, Paul.
Hello, sir.
Good.
You hear me all right?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, good.
I just telling him if. Oh, whoops. Hey, can you guys on stream hear us all right? I haven't seen any comments yet, so it makes me think we're talking to nobody. Which hopefully that's not the case. Yep, can hear. All right, thanks, sir. Appreciate that. Sir or madam, not sure.
Cool. There we go.
Awesome. Yeah, so I was telling him not a ton planned tonight in terms of prepared remarks. I put a video out earlier today, kind of recapping Friday through the lens of swing trading, what we saw, dimmer switch, going through that routine, hit on, intraday SPX action, looking through vol in, looking through the spec commands, all that good stuff. I just hit on the spec chart on the spaghetti model one, where you got C50, P50, C10, all that good stuff with spot price overlaid. So if you think it's useful to hit on any of the other spec charts, we can do that. But I'm not as confident using those other ones as I am with that one. So that's why I just hit on it. And confidence being I just don't understand them as well as I should. So
Well, I can help with that.
And then yeah, that's about it. Looks like SPX gap down a little bit, being bought up so far in the pre-market.
Yeah.
But the night is long, so.
The night is long, the week is long.
The night is long and full of tears. Why is all this delayed? That's not cool. Let's need to log in. So, yeah, sweet. Did you get a lot of snow up there, as much as they were expecting?
Yeah, we're still getting frozen sleet and rain right now. It's
Wow.
a mess. Yeah, it's real.
Do they do a good job plowing the streets up there, or they just kind of let it go until it's done?
They're not equipped to handle. I mean, the big roads, of course.
Yeah.
I live on the end of a mile dead end, so they never come to us.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's funny because like I lived on the Kansas side. I lived right on the state line of Kansas and Missouri, and the Kansas side was always like pristine. And the Missouri side like was always so bad. It was just.
Yeah, it's about money.
It's just funny.
Yeah, it's about money. That's for sure.
All right. Well, not seeing much in the way of comments right now.
Yeah, we got 65 people watching or so. Yeah, everyone's being pretty quiet. Probably are watching the game out of one eye.
Let's go on YouTube. Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Well, let's see what there is to.
No questions from anybody? Really? Nothing in the Discord, nothing on YouTube here.
No, not right now. I don't know if. I don't know. It's been a pretty choppy market through this week. It's kind of hard to make any headway with swings right now. I don't know if you have any commentary on the wheel, how that's going. I was just talking about earlier how
picture, I think, all of the strategies that are bullish are struggling. Not necessarily our struggle, but just the market in general is struggling. And when we see that, we don't get very aggressive, meaning we're looking for good setups, right? So when, for instance, in P2P, I'd like to see more than just the P2P stocks on the list. I'd like to also see the ones that have indications that new calls are going in. We have 3 scans for that. So I've been just taking just those. And so anything that doesn't have that, even though the P2P list has been fairly long, in P2P, by the way, is, for those who don't know, that's our P-trans to P-gex strategy. It's a mechanical strategy. Been trading it now for, it'll be 3 years solid in June. Profitable, very profitable, steady, right? It's just a way to go. But, the market's struggling. I think we We saw last week a lot of speculators up at 7,000, and we knew every day it wasn't going to happen. And the reason we know that is because of the structure. So I think, talking about the wheel, talking about P2P, I wouldn't be surprised at a little more weakness. And, with some of the news that's going on, make sure you have good confirmation on whatever you guys are taking a look at. I wouldn't necessarily get overexposed to the long side right here. I've got, and just talking my book, I've got a number of 6,500 and 5,600 puts. So I'm long the 65s and short the 56s for the end of March. And that's just to hedge all my long deltas. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Damn, I was going to say something. I just.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I was kind of hitting on in the video earlier today how, we had a decent little run with, TC3 on, right? Our bullish momentum indicator that, is a key gate for the P-Trans plus GEX strategy and the Will strategy. Then it turned off, right, Wednesday. Came back on Thursday, but kind of a weak close a little bit. And then Friday, it's kind of just chopping around, chop suey. So,
right.
Yeah, and the market is kind of, just chopping 6,900, 7,000. So, yeah, and and even the names that come up on, the watch list that we maintain just aren't the greatest, they don't use, when Corning is showing up as a good looking stock, it's not always super exciting to me, at least in the environment.
Yep, exactly right.
So, yeah, that's what I was saying on Friday. Yeah, to your point, Paul, we're producing these lists, right, that have the three bullish characteristics of those scans, the newly call dominated going in.
Right.
And just kind of looking at the names. These are all the names I think that we have. So not a super long list. And there's only 3 on P2P and hitting 2 or more of those scans as well. A lot of those, not a lot, but I should say 2 of the 10 being gold.
Yeah, I'm long silver, so I see AG and SLV on that list.
Yeah.
I'm long silver just because you need to be long silver. I just keep on every pullback. I keep adding to it. I did take Archer, the top one. They make personal aircraft type thing, and ASTS.
Ripped.
Yeah, oh my gosh, we were in that a couple weeks ago, and that thing went 15% in 2 or 3 days. It was great. We had just great response in that.
Yeah, that one was. I remember seeing it this week.
What's that, Archer?
No, ASTS. I remember everyone was talking about it. But yeah, Archer was there too. But then going to Friday, what I was looking at was so this was just a call dominated list, not necessarily new call dominated, but it's capturing the universe of all call dominated stocks in our spreadsheet database. Observation I had is I just call this the strike zone, just because kind of on the premise of P transit plus GEX and Hike. Forgive me, I don't know how you spell your name, or maybe that's Heineken. But
Quinoa, I think. Quinoa.
Yeah. We'll answer your question in a second. It's kind of in a roundabout way. Answers it a little bit, but right, it's P transit plus GEX. P trans being our upside acceleration zone, plus GEX just kind of being a key upside convexity level. Like I was saying, Corning and Starbucks are 2 names up there that have good distance to plus GEX. And we just see a ton of stocks down here that are not a ton of distance up to plus GEX either. So that just at least to me, gives me a little bit of like what the environment is as well, as
Yeah,
opposed to,
they're not moving.
yeah, seeing a lot of stocks up here that, above P trends and have speculation, up in the structure that they can make a move towards.
Yeah, that's what we would want to see is have them start making pretty good speed. And at the beginning of the year, right, at the beginning of January, we were seeing that, right? We were seeing them
Yeah.
day over day move up. So that was the kind of cool thing.
Yeah, and then to answer your question, so P trans to plus GEX, that is our 100% mechanical strategy. I mean, the methodology really underpins everything at Gamma Edge that we do. It leverages two of our key levels, P trans, upside acceleration zone, where that just means that strike and all strikes above are call dominated, right? From a gamma point of view, that's what this transition zone right here signifies to us there. And then plus GEX being the key upside convexity zone, the key level where the most short-term gamma sits, and that's indicated by this green dot here. We've through our partnership with EdgeRater, back tested that rigorously. You can see here, right, just going through kind of everything for you, and we'll get to all the literature for you. We've been running this live since July of 2023, where this has almost 400 trades on it, 73% win rate, right in line with the back testing, a positive expectancy. Yes, losers are bigger than winners, but again, it's a high win rate strategy, so that's fine. These are the current open positions that we have, right? Update that every day for you. And then, so in our, if you're not in Gamma Edge, but I don't think you are, right? You can get access to this, our Fast Pass, which is our, education hub. There we have a dedicated lesson specific to this strategy. We also have a blog post right here, this P Transit plus GEX strategy. This is a blog post for you. We go through the back testing, go through the methodology, all that good stuff. So that will also get you up to speed on exactly what this strategy is. Again, P2P is 100% mechanical. So like tonight, what your entries are tomorrow. So, if you have a full-time job, not able to dedicate a ton of time intraday trading, this is a good strategy because you really literally need like 2 to 5 minutes to read it and put in your orders for the next day. And then just to clarify your question, you said the wheel and the P2P in the same sentence. So I just want to make sure that you're not getting those two mixed up. The wheel strategy, right, is just a common option strategy, right, where you're selling a cash secured put. And the P2P with our methodology is 100% stock based.
Yeah, they're two very separate, and they're managed completely separate. So
yeah, and we have the Game Edge Fast Pass. We have an article on the wheel, and on our blog, we also have an article on the wheel right here where we go through what the wheel is, Gamma Edge's flair to it, which is how we find superior candidates, and then our methodology for getting into trades, out of trades, and managing trades that are going against us.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of resources available. Michael, who's not on, one of our admins, in charge of customer education, he manages the P2P every night, and Taylor is showing you the channel he manages. So, and then if you go over to the scanners channel, Taylor, you don't have to wait for Michael. You can basically do it all yourself.
Yeah.
So we have a command called ptrans to pgex. So when you run that, it's actually a pretty thin list right now. I think for tomorrow, I think there's only maybe on there. So if you're managing trades, yeah, so what is it, CLS and the Qs. And then to close, again, it's, you just got to run two commands here. The other one is close above PGEX. And when you run that, you'll get a listing of all the stocks that we track that meet that condition. So if you're holding anything, not everybody holds the same stocks because they run out of money. And like, for instance, I'm 100% invested in a couple of my accounts in P2P. So I can't take all of the trade. Taylor, can you run close above PGEX real quick?
Sure.
When you run that, it comes up with a full list, and if your stocks are on there, then you just set a market order to close at the open, and you're done. And there you go. So you can see AM, AG, Gold, ALAB, ANET, et cetera, et cetera. All of those are scheduled to be closed tomorrow. So if any of our members are doing this, it's entirely up to them what they want to do. But if we were, if we had infinite money and infinite positioning, we would be in all of those and we would close those tomorrow. So,
yeah. Yep.
So Dong Sung is asking, interested in the recent setup for IWM if we have time, but he's holding. So I want to put a little asterisk on this. So you're holding IWM March monthlies at 270, and then you're interested to know what's our view on it. So we teach options, so we understand options extremely well. The challenge with March options, especially in IWM, IWM has not necessarily marched to the same drummer as the Qs in SPY, and because it trades literally all of the time, daily, with big expiries on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, things change, and it's called path dependency. So to your question, which I know you want to have answered, you've got puts on for 320. Is that any good? I don't know. Nobody in their right mind is going to know. Now, all of that said, is that the quartile there, Taylor?
Yep, top quartile.
All right. So one of the things you can do with our tools is over on the right-hand side there, you see those purple squares. Those are all the expiries of IWM. And that little shaded area right down below that, you can select one of the four quartiles. And the brightest one, where he's hovering right now, is the top one. And so it displays those that you see there. So what is this telling you, right? This is telling you that the market is positioned on 130, which is the end of the month, right, coming up, 220, which is the February expiry, and 320, which is where you're sitting. So right now, the path is 130, 220, and 320 to your expiries. Now, it doesn't mean the other expiries are worthless. It just means that the notional value that is contained in those is not all that great relative to what you see here, the end of the month. Now, the institutions largely pick the monthlies and the end of the months, which is what you're seeing here. So, broad picture though, we think that this is the institutions, the big boys and girls as we call them. You see that big red thing in the middle there, which says put dominated? That means we're under a put control scenario, right? So there's a lot more puts in the structure than there are calls. And so to your point that you're holding puts, time is important, no question about it. But you're probably sitting, if your vision is longer term, meaning March, you're probably on the right side, right? IWM, even though it's interest rate sensitive, and if we get, basis cut again, the small caps will benefit, we'll see IWM rally and yada, 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 on and on and on. Right now, the market's not necessarily buying it. So that big red put dominated in the middle there is telling you that, yeah, the market is positioned more for a downward move than they are an upward move. And that's pretty important, right? So I think just, again, broad brush, looking at, hey, you're holding 270 puts on 320. Are you in a good spot? Well, you're in the money, right? So you're holding 270s. Your deltas are limiting to a -1, right? So they're just going to continue to grow. Does that mean that we're going to stay under 270? Well, the 270 you can see has got plus GEX there, right? That's that red, or excuse me, that green dot over on the left-hand side there. You can also see there's a green dot over in the call OI column. That is the call open interest for the selected upper quartile. Why is that important to your decision process here? We think, it is our belief, that these are the points of maximum convexity for the selected expiries. Why does that matter to what you're asking? Well, we think you could see some pressure up to 270, but those call holders, they're not going to basically, sit there and hold to a 60 delta, 70 delta, 80 delta. They're going to take their money and they're going to run. Those are convexity peaks on the call side. And so we think there's going to be monetization as price moves up. So are your 270 puts safe? You're probably going to see some heat. I would think you're going to see some heat. Could we go above 270? Of course we could. Are we going to stay above 270 if this condition stays? Probably not. The sign of any downward movement in the market, those calls are going to say, we're out of here. We are going to take our 55 delta or our 60 delta off the table, maybe 70 delta if they're lucky, depending on when they got in. And all of a sudden, when you start sucking a bunch of long deltas out of the complex, price goes down. Why? When I take positive deltas off the table, right, on my books getting negative, that forces the dealer, before they were hedged, forces them net longer. That means they have to sell to get back even. And so what happens is we start seeing downward pressure on the structure. So I think your 270s could take some heat. Are you going to lose your tail? Well, it depends on when you got in, right, and what you paid. But I think, all things considered, 270 looks like the right pivot point to look at. So hopefully that's useful. I don't know, Taylor, you got anything else to add on top of that?
Yeah, a few things I was going to say. Just looking at, to your point, knowing where we're going to March is impossible. With IWM, price action point of view, wouldn't necessarily want to be short. These green, not that this is a focal point of Gamma Edge, but these green moving averages are like institutional moving averages, right? Like the 21 and 50. So whether you subscribe to that or not, like people pay attention to them. So that's why, I just have them on the chart. We have them incorporated in a couple of our strategies. And so we're clearly above that. Sure, we may be a little bit extended, but I wouldn't really want to be on that side. But anyways, something I was looking at, right? The GEX ratio, just a measure of cumulative call volume or call gamma relative cumulative put gamma. And remember that gamma is most sensitive short term. So, right, good for us traders here. Think of it like a put call ratio, but we find it superior because, again, it's based off gamma. So it has that time element to it. It certainly has weakened, right? We can see the market making higher highs here. The ratio is not making a higher highs by any means. We are below 1. So technically, put gamma is, greater proportion relative to call gamma. So as you continue to be bearish, you want to see this ratio continue to work lower. Other thing to note, delta balance. Keep in mind, this is the next 5 expirations, not necessarily the next 5 that we were looking at highlighted, but the next 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all weak. So again, not necessarily the most, speculation. Like we're looking at 30 10,000, 20,000 open contracts relative to, 2 million, 300,000. But nonetheless, right in the short term, to Paul's point, Pat's dependency, it is, looking relatively weak. So maybe, I don't know, maybe for a trade, maybe we get a pullback, but like a sustained move lower. I don't know. Time would tell. It certainly has had a nice run here, and I mean it's really gonna be predicated on the market trend model too. Like, do we see further weakness come in? Right now we're in no man's land a little bit here, but we are technically above the moving average ribbon on a long term basis. So just from the way that we think about it at Gamma Edge, just kind of a little bit of no man's land right now.
Yeah, I will say, so I don't know if you have it, Taylor. I've got it. We don't need to switch charts or anything, but
I can pull it up, whatever you're looking at.
I actually have the MTM on the tick RL.
Oh, on the Russell.
Yeah, and here I'll just take a screenshot and post it for you, so we can talk about it here.
I mean, if you share your screen, I can flip to it. Real quick on the software.
All right. Yeah, let me share.
Don, is any of this resonating with you? I don't even know if you're still on the stream or not. So I want to make sure that we're hitting on specifically what your question was.
Yeah. If not, then that's fine too.
Yeah. Hopefully some other people are getting tidbits out of it. Yes, very helpful.
Cool. Okay. So unfortunately, it doesn't tell me what screen is what, and I have. Okay, there we go. There we go. Let me know if you see that.
Yeah, I got it up. I'm adding it. Remove mine, add yours. All right, cool. Got it up.
So we don't normally talk about this in GE, but we don't talk about a lot of things in GE, but they're kind of in the background just to form a basis of something. And Don, what you're looking at here is called the tick, right? The tick model, the MTM, the market trend model, market timing model, a lot of different ways to refer to it. And just to get you oriented, the price series that you see here is IWM, right? So that's the 1X ETF, long ETF on the Russell 2000. This white line is the actual tick index. It's called the cumulative tick. And the CT is what we call it, whether it's this or the SPY or the SPX, or the NASDAQ, or what we use, which is an ARCX model, which is a group of exchanges. It tells you buying and selling. So up here in the upper left, you might not be able to see it because of the resolution on your screen, but it says tick RLC. RLC is the Russell 2000. Okay. Now, why is any of this important to what you're asking? So there's a series of moving averages here. You can see the white ones right here. You can see a nice, really, kind of fat, what we call the rainbow, or ribbon, across here. And a couple things immediately jump off the page to us, right, when we look at this. We can see price series is kind of horizontal last week, and so was the tick. And so you've got this kind of thing going on with buyers and sellers all last week, butting heads, not doing a lot, okay? So that's kind of important. And then as we start heading down here, and this is Thursday and this is Friday, we had a little midday bounce, but it wasn't very strong. Right? The other thing I just want to highlight, and then we'll step away from this. This red moving average is faster than this blue one or the cyan one. Now, why does that matter? When red is below blue, it's bearish. It means that overall, net buyers can't get a handhold in the long term, right? They're just not accumulating the Russell. So we have a divergence, right? So you saw what Taylor had. It was above the 21, it was above the 50. And so we have price going up in the Russell, but we also have the net selling occurring underneath the hood. So I have no idea if it's a bubble. I have no idea if people are taking advantage of, small caps are interest rate sensitive, and then they're going to rug pull. I'm here to tell you the institutions that are trading this are sellers. How do we know that? Because consistently, even though price is moving up underneath the engine, underneath the hood, the engine is clearly indicating and has been indicating for a while selling. So just the way we look at things might be a little different than what others. I mean, price determines what you put in the bank, right? No question about it. When you have a divergence, which is what we trade, we look for options divergence, we look for price divergence. I mean, many of our scans are about divergences. When we see divergences, we pay attention. Sometimes the divergences are bullish, and we take advantage of them. P2P, for instance, that's a bullish divergence. This would have me looking more, not at IWM. I would be looking perhaps, at TWM, which is the minus 2x ETF in the Russell. Now, if you want to play with puts, absolutely. Or sell calls. If we come from a high IV environment, that's a perfect time to sell calls. We're not there. I think being long puts probably is not a bad place to be. So I'll leave it at that. All right, you can have your screen back there too. All right, any more questions there? Let's see. Dongson had, okay, just last comment. Okay, that's from SPXP. Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry, I'm on mute. What I was saying is a cool feature I learned today is I don't know if your mouse has a little roller on it or not, but instead of like doing that, you can just like using your mouse point where you want it to go and then use the roller and it'll zoom in for you and zoom out.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought it was.
That's a new capability that the devs must have put in there.
We may have had it forever and just didn't know
I
about
think we've
it.
had it forever because I scroll screens all the time, but
Oh,
yeah.
do you? Okay. Yeah, I was messing.
Control key, or are you just scrolling?
Oh, I'm just using the little thing right here. And then you just kind of point where you want it to go and it'll start just expanding that way.
Wow, that must have been in a library update. No, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I was messing with something with John today, and so
Nice.
That was it. Yeah.
It's the simple things or little things in life, right?
I know, right? So, yeah, I mean, I guess in terms of SPX, right, we'll get our overnight updates into the morning tomorrow. So probably 6:45, 7 o'clock a.m. Data should be fine. Obviously, always check the timestamps, make sure it's updated for tomorrow's date. Yeah, so I mean, in terms of swing trading, like I'm really just looking for A+ setups, and I'm going to be very in tune with the market trend model. Reason being is because this signal, is kind of given where it is right now, how we were seeing a little bit in no man's land. Like it could turn, moving higher, moving lower within 10 minutes tomorrow. So, and we could get the railroad tracks pointed up or down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just kind of a butt in the moment seat or butt in the seat moment, early in the week, I think. So just pay attention to that. Obviously, 52-week new highs significantly outpacing new lows. So that's something, constructive to see.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, obviously, intraday is a little bit of a different beast from what we were talking about. It's going to be dependent on what zero DT structure looks like, what the intraday volume analysis looks like. Keep in mind too, I forgot to hit on it, but we had a Twitter thread which was really based on, if you go up here to technical channels, if you go to this Gamma Drive price action, takes you to a good chat that we had Thursday afternoon. Captured that in a short, punchy little thread right here. Just kind of, talking about, gamma is what a lot of people like to talk about. And we're saying, not so fast, volume metrics, band of charm, all that good stuff are equally as important, more important than, gamma, which is a response, not a driver. So recommend you guys go give that a read as well. Any questions on that, you can reply straight to the thread. You can ask them in the Discord, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what that. Well, I guess we can just cut it early unless you got something else to say.
No, people always ask, what's the market going to do? And it's going to go up and it's going to go down.
Yep.
But it's got to navigate whatever's on the structure, right? So it's what it is, right?
Yeah, best tools for intraday trends. Sorry to cut you off, Paul.
No, go ahead.
James, yeah. So, I would recommend watching the recap from that we posted on YouTube today, because that's going to walk you through the intraday tools that we like to look at. Again, going into Game Edge FastPass, which you have access to. Where to go? If you go right here, then you'll be able to see our SPX SPX 0DTE quick start guide, right? That's going to have all of our intraday tools, specifically looking at vol M. Is kind of the starting spot. We have vol D, we have vol U, but all of that is predicated on SPX 0DT volume, right? We bucket data on a 5-minute over 5-minute basis. Look at that distribution, finding the centroids. Centroids represent right behavior of speculators. So as you trend that out on a kind of 5-minute over 5-minute basis, then right, you kind of understand kind of how folks are speculating from there, and you can understand right where folks are, intending for price to go, where they're not expecting price to go. So right, if you're not expecting price to go somewhere, that's very good for intraday kind of premium selling strategies, or if you are scalping futures or whatever, kind of understanding what the trends of the market are. Are we trending up or are we trending down? Are we kind of in a consolidated, so kind of a tighter price action, all that good stuff.
Yep.
So that's where I would start. And then obviously, right, reading the SPX game plan is critical every day, because that's where you're going to get a master's class in how setting up the game plan for the day, what the structure is, understanding how to use NetStat, right, which is our summary of 3D surface models, gives you the key sensitivity points, working on better identifying kind of where those flip points in the structure are in terms of the 4 key Greeks, all that good stuff as well. So I realize I just threw a lot at you, but the best way to use it is just to kind of observe it. And like I said in the video today, whichever two teams win today, they're going to be watching game film preparing for the Super Bowl. So we should be watching game film of these tools every day to help refine your strategies, which is what we do.
Yeah, which is what we do every day.
Yep. So, all right. Now I think we're done.
Indeed. All right, sir. I shoveled for almost 6 hours today because my snowblower broke, so I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I was about to say you better get out there and shovel some more, but it sounds like you've had your fair share of it today.
Uh,
What is that? Every 2 hours you're out there shoveling?
today,
Or,
yeah. Here's a lesson to anyone living in the north. You probably know this. I mean, you would think I would know this. Everything fired off just fine on the snowblower, but what's called the auger belt, that's the belt that turns the blades, that sucks the snow in, that throws it out into the world. The auger belt, you can't really test it until you get snow in there.
yeah.
So, mice had set up
Oh no.
underneath.
Yeah.
Where all the pulleys and the cams are in the summertime, because I guess it was safe and dry or whatever.
Yeah.
And they ate the frickin' belt.
Oh dang.
So that one little thing was the difference between shoveling a 120-foot driveway and using a snowblower.
Yeah, it's a difference from what, like an hour of work versus 6.
Yeah,
Well, at
it was
least you got some.
my wife and I. So Carrie was out there too. So yeah, it was brutal. And then we've got like 3 or 4 more inches still on the ground now since we did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah, you got some
everything's
training
closed.
for the day.
Government's closed tomorrow. Everything here in Virginia, up in the north part of Virginia, is
Yeah.
they're telling everyone to stay off the roads.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. So
Yeah, well, I know. You
I'll
got
be here tomorrow, and I'll be
workout in for the day, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys got plenty of firewood,
We do.
good.
We still got 2 cord left.
Nice. All right. Do you always buy do you buy it and then like let it season for a year or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. Well,
You don't have those troubles where you are.
no, it's supposed to get kind of. I know, dude. It's so weird today. Like, yeah, everyone's like a snowstorm, and it's like running in 60, 70-degree weather. It's just like felt so weird, but yeah. So.
So the calf was the big issue.
Oh yeah, those bridges are just like I didn't have appreciation for how punishing they would be. And they're pretty big. It was around Clearwater Beach.
Yep.
So those are big bridges.
I saw the route. I was watching you on the route until I wasn't watching you on the route. So.
Until you're like, did the app break or did he quit? What happened here? And then
the app had you going. The app had you finishing at like 11:40. I texted a screenshot to Greg, and Greg came back and said, "No, you just texted him, saying that you had."
Oh yeah. They only had a few checkpoints where it like checked your time in. Like the first one was 7 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So coming right over the last bridge is like mile 11. Like, it was just progressively getting more tight, and then. Yeah, mile 11, I just like the same strain feeling I had 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And yeah.
Aaron had to come pick you up.
Oh yeah, I was just sitting there on the side of the road, and people were like, "You want a gel? Do you need some sodium?" And I was like, "I need a lot more than that right now." But no, so it was disappointing it ended like that. But I don't know, just lucky it's something that'll be fine in a few weeks.
I'm in rehab right now because my Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
And I'm learning. So the Achilles obviously is hooked to the hamstring in your glass rock.
Yeah.
That right. So.
Yep.
You can go online. There's a ton of stuff. It's made all the difference in the world. So the place I go is the group there handles both the Washington Commanders as well as the Nationals.
Yeah.
So they are the shop for all the athletes.
Yeah.
And so when you come in there with an issue, they're like, yeah, let's get you back.
Yep.
So it's not the most friendly. I mean, it shit hurts. But wow, it's making a big difference. So there's a lot
Oh,
of stuff out there.
100%.
There's a lot of stuff out there on how to stretch the glass rock, and I bought a TENS unit. Do you know what that is?
A tent? No, I don't.
TENS unit. It's a 2-channel device. Normally, it has these sticky pads, and then you can put different shock patterns or electrical current. And what it does is it causes the muscle to twitch.
Oh, like a stem machine?
It's a stem machine.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Stem TENS, you can get them off Amazon.
Yeah.
They're
I know
called
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, they're STEM, and that has been pretty awesome. So lots of things out there when you're ready to start screwing with it.
Yeah, I know. I just got done doing 3 months for my hip, and it felt great. I felt great today, and then that obviously happened. My physical therapist is gonna be like, "Oh, I love this guy. He just keeps breaking, keep bringing him back."
Making his vote payments, right?
Yeah, just handed my whole HSA account. Be like, "All right, here you go. How much is this gonna get me?"
Yeah.
So,
Shit.
yeah.
So you're in PT right now?
Yeah, well, I was. I did my last session last week because I was like, I mean, my hip feels great. Like we tested out my calf. It felt fine. I did 13 miles last week. I did a 13-mile run, did all my, just easy shakeout runs this week. Everything felt fine. But yeah, I don't know. The hills were just brutal, or the bridges were just brutal. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, that's how it goes. And so, yeah, I was like, well, we'll see how the race goes. And then, like, the baby's going to be here
fast.
Full term today. So could be here any day. And I was like, it's not like I'm going to be training for an ultra marathon anytime soon again. So, I'll just let it rest for probably 3 or 4 weeks and get back in the gym. My legs have gotten so weak. I need to strengthen them back up. So,
very cool.
Just live vicariously through you and Greg's training now.
Well, Greg is killing it, man. He's just what a freaking machine.
Yeah, I was talking to him today, and just Ironman is just so much training. You're just always freaking having to do something. Swimming, biking, running. Yeah,
yeah, we have. My goal is to finish. His goal is to win. So there's.
Yeah, that's what made it so much worse too. Because I was just looking at the live results, and I was like, I was winning my age group. Damn. So
you were one.
I know. So
at that first cut, yeah.
It was sickening to see what the winner got, though. He was averaging like 6:11 miles for 32 miles. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
So
yeah. That's insanity. I mean, anybody who can do that is not human.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
So in a different life, I was a pacer on the bike for a guy who was doing a double iron. So
is that like an event?
Yeah, it is. You can look it up. And
that's crazy.
So he had people come in, and you can do it assisted. So I rode with him, and just it was everything I had to ride with this guy. I mean, and I was fit. I mean, seriously, I was like, I was logging lots of miles, and this guy was just freaking crazy. So, and Greg's. So when you get to that elite athlete thing, I'll let you go after this, but
that's fine. That's interesting.
Greg is one of those guys who just has the gene.
Yeah.
And then there are people who don't have the gene. It skipped my generation and it landed on him and
Yeah.
I'm serious about that, right? So I've always had to work my ass off for stuff. Greg is like talented naturally, and he's got the biomechanics naturally, right? So when he tackles something, he immediately just kind of the improvement. Yeah, he excels. Like, it's amazing. And so when you get these ultra guys and gals who have the gene, right? You realize I could do, all of the volume I'm doing now plus some, and I will never be those people.
Yeah.
I will never be competitive against it. And for me, years ago, that was kind of, you're going to be an age grouper and you're going to be an age grouper. The only thing you can bring to the table is hopefully you're going to be an age grouper when there aren't a lot of age groupers.
Yeah.
But yeah, Greg and Sam too, but Sam doesn't have the drive. Greg, Greg used to dive Greg used to dive with a guy, his name was Grayson. They grew up together here in Northern Virginia. And Grayson was one of those guys who could go out partying, tie one on Friday night, and then come in on Saturday practice or Saturday meet. And he was national champion like 19 times from the age of 9 upward, right?
Yeah.
Summer winter champion. And Greg was always in his shadow.
Yeah.
But eventually he and Greg started diving together, and then they won golds together for synchro. And then Grayson went to college down at UT Austin, and they basically just kind of split and, had to go do their own thing. So Greg, once he left that footprint of Grayson, he was able to kind of see where his shortcomings were. Even though he's got the gene, he saw, hey, I can do this. This is where I need to put in. And that's what he's doing on the bike right now, right?
Yeah.
And swim and run and all that. But I mean, the bike is where he's really, really serious about it. So
he's been doing a bike for a couple of years now, ever since he got done diving.
Yeah, since August of 24. Yeah, he got a bike. It was in October, I think, of 24.
Yeah.
So year and 4 months, year and 3 months.
I mean, he's in the best place to do it too.
He sent us a video today of him out there, and it's blue sky and you bastard.
You can ride forever out there too.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about a car at all. It's perfect. Good environment. Yeah. It's good.
So you've got little one. Does he have a name yet?
No, we're still figuring it out.
Yeah. Have you kind of narrowed them down to a handful?
There's I don't know. It's probably like Oliver, maybe Cohen. I like Cohen.
Cohen's pretty nice. Oliver. Any family names?
Any what?
Any family names?
His middle name will be Matthias.
Cool.
So that's my grandpa's name. That's my middle name. That'll be his middle name.
Yep. Nice.
So yeah, that's about it. But yeah, to your point, I'm good running my 8 minute to 8:30 miles. Could I maybe
6:30? Do you want to get 30?
Maybe I could get to like a 7:30. Like, is in my training, right? I'll do like an hour at 7:30, but do I want to run 5 hours at that pace? No, not at all. So I'm past those days, but yeah, no, that's awesome. So yeah, I'm excited to follow you guys and do all that stuff. So that'd be cool.
For me, I'm just finding out I just got to stay healthy.
Yeah, it's
a lot harder for me than it is him.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. He's like, oh, we rode 200 miles yesterday. Let's do it again today. So.
He climbed like 2,900 today,
Yeah.
Holding 240 for 3 hours, and I'm like,
Yeah.
my FTP is 158 and he's holding 240 uphill for 3 freaking hours.
Yeah. He's gonna finish the Ironman, go have a hot meal, take a shower, have a nap, and then come back and.
Well, that's what we've told him that he can't do. And I said, I forbid you from finishing before me, going to get a shower, getting a meal, and then watching me finish. 2 minutes before it's
Yeah, you
ended.
sit there in your jumpsuit waiting for me.
Yeah, you need to keep your ass there at.
Yeah, I know. He needs to come back and run the marathon with you.
He could right now. Right, do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man.
All right.
Best to you and your bride, and hopefully she's in a good spot.
Well, whenever the baby comes, she'll be in a good spot.
Indeed.
So, all right. Have a good night. I'll see you in the morning.